So does your organization have a crow's nest? What does that mean? How do you see over the horizon? How do you anticipate those disruptive opportunities or challenges? That's what I'd like to address today. So what's a crow's nest? A crow's nest actually is the structure that sits on top of a ship's lookout. Okay? And for the purposes of this talk, I want to have you think of a crow's nest as your organization. It's the structure. So crow's nests, actually by legend, were created by the Vikings. That's what got the name. But the first documented use of the term for crow's nest actually comes from 1807 in a whaling ship. And so the lookout would be able to see whales, but also icebergs. And we all know of another instance of a crow's nest and icebergs, the Titanic. So the Titanic provides a kind of an interesting metaphor that I'd like to share with you. On the night of April 14th, 1912, the incident happened. And Frederick Fleet was in the crow's nest, 10 p.m. at night, and yelled the words, "Iceberg dead ahead." And we know what happened. But there's something you may not know about this story, which I find really interesting. 2 days before the Titanic sailed, the second officer that was assigned to the Titanic was assigned to another ship. In those 2 days, the key to the locker in the crow's nest, which the second officer had, was not transferred to the Titanic. This is a big deal, because that night, Frederick Fleet, up in the crow's nest, did not have the key to the locker where the binoculars were. So not issuing that key had tragic consequences, and 1,522 people died that night. So let's kind of modernize what a crow's nest could be. Crow's nests used to be very dependent upon eyesight, binoculars, very kind of basic things. Today we know that we can layer digital information on top of reality. It's called augmented reality. And so I think this has some implications about thinking about our own creation of a crow's nest. So we need to think about creating our own new crow's nest. What does that look like? Well, we know that we can do all kinds of really interesting things with digital information now. Tony Stark, this actually isn't too far off. I'm going to show you a little bit about this. But we need to think about how do you structure your organization's content and how do you see ahead. So what I'm going to show you is a kind of a cool piece of technology that it's kind of for my own crow's nest a little bit. These are AR glasses, augmented reality glasses. And what I'm going to show you is, this is from TED this year. This is a minute of a longer talk, but I want you to think about, as you see this video, how the implications of this technology may impact collaboration, communication, and a whole bunch of other stuff we may not have thought about yet. So this is Merlin Goetz. He's the CEO of the company called Meta, but he is actually a neuroscientist. So I want you to see this video and think about how it might impact on what you do as an organization internally or externally.
So again, our favorite interface, the iOS of the mind. I'm going to now take a step further and go ahead and grab this pair of glasses and leave it right here by the desk. I'm now with you. I'm in the moment. We're connecting. My spatial memory kicks in, and I can go ahead and grab it and bring it right back here, reminding me that I am the operating system. And now my proprioception is working, and I can go ahead and explode these glasses into 1,000 parts and touch the very sensor that is currently scanning my hand. But it's not enough to see things alone. So in a second, my co-founder Ray is going to make a 3D call. Ray? Hey Ray, how's it going? Guys, I could see this guy in front of me in full 3D, and he's photorealistic. Thank you. My mirror neuron subsystem suggests that this is going to replace phones in not too long. Ray, how's it going?
Great, we're live today.
Ray, give the crowd a gift, the holographic brain we saw from the video earlier. Guys, this is not only going to change phones, it's also going to change the way we collaborate. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ray.
You're welcome.
So that's pretty cool. and you can start thinking about collaboration. You can actually manipulate the same hologram with multiple people. So I keep thinking about maybe collaborating with someone in the same space and manipulating an object and then sending it to a 3D printer. So we're just the beginning of this stuff. It's very, very cool stuff. So, but we have to think about what does that mean for how we work, how we use information, what's the user experience, what's the experience design of these disruptive technologies like AR and VR. So I actually have an idea for that. Obviously, collaboration is a very important thing. But the one thing I really want to emphasize is collaboration between disciplines. You want to bring people together that have not worked together usually, because the most interesting stuff happens between the intersections of disciplines. You want to have the right brain people and the left brain people working together. And the trick is to get them to use the same vocabulary. But once you do, magic can happen. But it's not just to throw people together. There needs to be a boundaries. There needs to be a structure on how people can interact with each other with a process. And what I'm going to introduce to you, this is a whole other talk, but design thinking. So design thinking is kind of a secret weapon for a lot of different kinds of industries, verticals, but I want to share with this because I think it's applicable to a lot of different companies. Design thinking is an iterative process. So the first couple squares is basically knowing your client, knowing your customer, right? And who are they? What are their needs? The middle square is basically about dreaming. No dumb ideas. You want to really think big. Think outside the box in this collaborative space. The last two boxes are, then you do a prototype based on the prior three. What could we do? What could we build? What could address those needs of a customer? And then the fifth one is measuring, whether it's analytics, testing. Then you start over. So it's a rapid way of iterating, changes, innovation. It's your own kind of internal innovation engine, if you will. So I come back to the lookout. What is your lookout? How are you structuring your company, your organization, or you as an individual to see over the horizon for the things that are coming? And so you want to make sure that everyone in your organization has access to the right key. And with that, I thank you very much.